Let me tell you something this world won't say out loud. Being by yourself doesn't mean you're broken. It means you're building. See, the world will trick you into thinking that if you're not out every night, if you're not posting every hour, if you're not surrounded by people clapping for you, then you must be doing something wrong. That something's missing, but I'll tell you what's missing is distraction. And when that's gone, you start meeting someone powerful. Yourself. I remember a season in my life where I had to face that silence. When the calls stopped coming, when the roles weren't showing up, when folks I thought were friends faded with the spotlight. At first it hurt because when you've been used to noise, silence feels like punishment. But then I started hearing the things I had been too busy to hear. The truth about what I needed to fix. The truth about what I had to fight for. The truth about who I was when nobody was watching. That's what solitude does. It doesn't weaken you, it wakes you up. People want the strength, but they don't want the struggle that builds it. They want the crown, but not the quiet where you earn it. You want to be great. You want to be something the world remembers. Then learn to walk with yourself. Learn to train in silence, to fight the battle of discipline when there's no one around to see the sweat. I've seen it in the gym, I've seen it in the theater, I've seen it in life. The real ones, the strong ones, they're made in the dark. They ain't looking for approval. They're locked in alone, doing the work when it's cold, when it's quiet, when it's uncomfortable. Because they know something the crowd doesn't. Growth ain't pretty, it's personal. So when I say be alone, I don't mean retreat, I don't mean hide, I mean focus, I mean prepare. I mean sharpen yourself so that when the moment comes you don't fold. You rise, you take that silence and make it sacred. You take that space and turn it into a sanctuary. You don't fear being alone, you embrace it. Because that's where your edge comes from. That's where your voice strengthens. That's where your fire is born, and when that fire catches, ain't a single thing in this world that can put it out. Let me tell you something real. You don't get strong by being seen, you get strong by surviving what no one sees. The pressure, the pain, the moments when quitting seems easier than standing up one more time. That's where refinement happens. That's the fire where greatness is forged. People think resistance is the enemy. No, resistance is the teacher. You don't grow in comfort. You grow when you're stretched. You grow when life pushes back and you push harder. It's in the struggle where your character gets shaped, where your faith gets tested, where your limits get rewritten. I remember training for a role that broke me down. Long days, cold nights, my body was sore, my spirit was tired. I thought to myself, what am I doing this for? But then I realized I wasn't just rehearsing lines. I wasn't just preparing for a scene, I was being sharpened, I was being refined. That pain, that pressure, that's the weight room of the soul. See, a sword doesn't become a sword just because it looks shiny. It becomes a sword because it was hammered, folded, burned, and beaten into shape. And you're no different. You don't become powerful because people clap for you. You become powerful because you've been through something and you kept going. Some of the strongest people I know, you'd never guess what they've survived. You don't see the nights they cried. You don't see the mornings they got up with no motivation, no applause, no promise of success, but they got up anyway. Because resistance didn't stop them, it refined them. People talk about success like it's a light switch. It's not. It's a grindstone, and every challenge, every failure, every rejection, it's carving you, shaping you, cutting away the doubt and the weakness, leaving behind the steel. I want you to understand something. When life gets hard, that's not the time to fold. That's the time to dig in. That's the time to remind yourself, this is how I grow. Not when it's easy, not when it's fun. When it's hard, when it's lonely, when it tests everything in you. So if you feel resistance, don't run from it. Respect it, use it, because every mountain you climb makes your legs stronger. Every storm you walk through teaches you how to stand taller. Every no you hear just brings you closer to the yes that was meant for you. This is how the great ones are made, not in celebration but in resistance. Quiet, brutal, sacred resistance. And when you come out the other side, you're not the same. You're sharper, stronger, unbreakable. There's a reason why so many people stay busy, because quiet is where the truth speaks. and the truth, that can be uncomfortable. But let me tell you something. If you never sit still long enough to hear your own soul, you'll spend your life chasing noise that was never meant for you. See, the world is loud. Everybody's trying to talk over each other. Everybody's got an opinion. Scroll this, tweet that, post a picture, look happy, move fast. But purpose doesn't shout, it whispers. And if you're not still, you'll miss it. I remember the first time I felt it. Not when I was on stage, not when the crowd was cheering. It was late one night, no one around, just me and a little voice in the back of my mind saying, "This ain't it yet." I was working, I was grinding, but I wasn't aligned, and it wasn't until I stepped back, until I sat with the silence, that I understood what I was really called to do. That's why solitude matters. That's why stillness isn't a waste, it's a weapon. In that space, when it's just you and your breath, you start to separate what's real from what's performance. You stop chasing dreams handed to you by other people, and you start listening for the one God planted in you. Too many people are scared to be alone because they're afraid of what they'll find. But what you find might be exactly what sets you free. You might hear the part of yourself that's been buried under pressure, under expectation, under fear. That voice that says, "This is who I am. This is what I'm here to do." You don't need permission to be who you are. You just need clarity, and clarity is born in stillness. Every calling I've ever seen fulfilled started in a quiet place. A notebook, a prayer, a lonely walk. Some of the greatest missions on earth didn't begin with a shout, they began with a whisper in the heart of someone who was listening. Not performing, listening. And listen, you don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to have the map. But if you can find 5 minutes in your day to shut out the world, no phone, no music, no feedback, just you and the stillness, you'll hear something, maybe not all at once, but piece by piece it'll come. So don't run from the silence, don't fill the space, let it breathe, because that's where the vision lives. That's where the voice of your future speaks. That's where your calling waits, not in the noise, not in the spotlight, but in the quiet place only you can enter. And when you finally hear it, when you really feel it in your bones, you'll know. You were never lost, you were just too loud to hear the truth. So what do you do now? You turn down the noise, you step into the silence, you stand in the stillness and face yourself not with fear, but with faith. Because in that quiet place you train, you grow, you break the old you to build the real you. And when resistance comes, not if, when you don't back down, you lean in, you use it. You let it refine you, shape you, prepare you. And when your calling finally speaks, when that whisper rises up from your gut and grabs your heart, you listen, you honor it, you run toward it with everything you've got. You don't need the crowd. You don't need the spotlight. You need conviction. You need discipline. You need the courage to be alone long enough to grow strong. Because when you do, when you come back from that solitude, you won't just walk different, you'll walk heavy. With purpose, with clarity, with power. So I'll leave you with this. Be alone, grow strong, and when you rise, don't apologize for the fire. You earned it. Thank you.